Hello everybody, welcome back to Back Out of the Case. This is Skyflight 44, aka Sec 44, and today I'm going to be playing some more Ratchet and Clank Size Matters. Now this entire part is going to be completely optional because, well, it's Clank challenges, and while I highly recommend doing them, there's no real reason to do this other than, getting buffs and, getting some pretty, at least this one, getting some pretty kick-ass armor pieces. I believe this one's going to help us get the, probably the best, some of the pieces to the best armor we can get in the first run of the game. But, one thing I was thinking about in the last couple of days, because I've tried recording commentary for this video, for this one part, several times because it's just Clank challenges. Having a hard time thinking of interesting topics for this one. But one of the actual challenges I probably would have put in, or it might not have been the best kind of challenge to put in the game because it is a PSP, and it does come with PSP problems, but it would have been the gauntlet challenges from Up Your Arsenal. To be honest, I have no idea why those challenges weren't ever in any of the other Ratchet and Clank games. Though, I don't think something like a Crack in Time needed them, considering how much platforming challenges were just on all of those different moons you could go to. But the big thing about the gauntlet challenges was that it was basically they were just a series of platforming challenges that went alongside the regular combat arena challenges. You did a lot of combat arena challenges anyway, so you might as well get a little bit of platforming into it. Basically, it would set you from first, like, one area, one starting area, and there would be like 4 or 8 different ending areas. I don't really remember how many, but basically you would go to a fork in the road. There would be a fork in the road, and several forks in. Basically, while you couldn't choose which ones you actually went down, it was completely dependent on what challenge you actually did. There was the each and every single different road you went down gave you different types of challenges. Actually, it might just be 4 ending points, but I haven't played Up Your Arsenal in a while, as you could probably tell from, well, I believe it might have been the 2 videos ago when it was the last skyboarding one. I completely forgot what that teleporter-like gadget was called. But those gauntlet challenges would have been a nice little addition to this game. It would once again would have given us a nice little Ratchet challenge, which again, when the main gameplay of the actual series, the main gameplay of this game as well, is, being bogged down by like 30% extra filler. It's kind of annoying. Not to mention, it's kind of annoying having a lot of these challenges which take up the overall completion time. So, subsequent actual playthroughs are going to be shorter because you're probably not going to be doing this shit because there's no real reward to it. But it's, it makes replaying the game kind of difficult. Now, these gauntlet challenges could, like the arena, combat arena challenges, it could have used a lot of the same assets we're seeing now. It wouldn't have taken too much trouble, you know, just setting things up. But I really think that most of the difficult part would have been, you know, just getting all the assets for the challenges. But it probably could have reused assets from elsewhere. And again, the combat arena could very well have just had everything that's right here, and then just have a, you know, actually make a combat arena out of it. But the only downside to having the entire platforming challenges would have been because this game, as you could probably have seen so far, when you compare it to, let's say, Ratchet and Clank 1, it's definitely lean when it comes to platforming. The platforming is not all that difficult. It's generally mixing of jumps and possibly double jumps. You almost never actually have to go and do a high jump. I believe it's one time you have to use the high jump, and that was the one time it shows you how to do the high jump. And the other actual jump, the long jump, was another one that was actually nerfed quite a bit. You don't go far with that thing at all. But I think that was just to limit the how fast you could go through the level, because there isn't any charge boost either in this game. I think possibly the PSP wouldn't be able to handle it. Possibly there are several different areas in the game where the PSP will just kind of momentarily freeze, just so that the actual area that you're going to could load. But kind of like God of War, if you were going a bit too fast, the game will just stop and you know, load in that time. But the not having the high jump, not having the long jump, and not really having any kind of movement type of gadget. There is the actual, what was it called? The hyper shot in this game. However, there really isn't anything else, and a lot of the, actually, I will say one thing though: the grind boots are, you know, quite frequent in this. The grind sections are quite frequent in this game, and that is a plus. I will give that. I've always liked the grinding platforming, though it loses quite a bit when it comes to you know, visual flair, but it's you know, good enough. But the main reason, or the excuses I can think of for why the platforming has been simplified in this game is, of course, mainly due to the fact that this is a PSP. One of the big things a lot of console series that were, you know, given PSP installments, one of the big obstacles for it, as you can probably guess, is they don't have enough buttons to fill up, you know, what you've had on the PS2 controller, what you have on the PS3 controller, or even the 360 controller. You know, the L2, R2, L3, R3 buttons completely gone. There's not that second little analog pad, whatever thingy, that you know, that's on the PSP. There's no second thing of that, which would have been very useful for a camera. Because of that, a lot of things that you can do easily on a console game, or a console installment in the series, you might not be able to do easily in a just on a PSP. I'll give you a good example in this game. Would be the L2 and not L2, R2. The long jump and high jump are very, very difficult. Oh, more awkward than difficult to actually go into. You have to actually go and use the hold L1 and R1 both at the same time. It's not all that bad. It's just it's kind of awkward because that kind of stops you completely. It's kind of sort of difficult to do the long jump, though the long jump really isn't necessary at all, and it's not all that very, useful because you don't really go that far. But one game though I will definitely say was really good at going in, allowing you to do everything you ever wanted to do from one of their console installments on the PSP was Assassin's Creed Bloodlines. That game is quite honestly awesome, really, really awesome, and you can do pretty much I haven't played too many of the console games, but it feels like you can do almost exactly everything that you can do in the console games on the PSP game, and that's wonderful, and it really, really works well. Everything in the control scheme just works incredibly well, but that along with the actual camera, it definitely makes the platforming in this game incredibly simple. Though one of the thing, Up Your Arsenal did have platforming, but that was definitely the point in the series where platforming really kind of got pushed to the side in favor for the combat until A Crack in Time. Again, I think I might have said this or in a failed actual recording of this commentary, but a lot of people say Tools of Destruction was the return to platforming, or a lot of platforming in the actual series. I still don't think that. I don't think the platforming was really good platforming challenge was really brought back until A Crack in Time, and holy shit did they come back with a vengeance in A Crack in Time. I love Crack in Time purely because of the platforming challenges are so numerous and great. But what Up Your Arsenal doesn't have as much platforming as, say, Going Commando. However, Up Your Arsenal, it has a lot more, it has much more emphasis on combat. However, at the same time, the combat is by far the best in Up Your Arsenal. Mainly because of all the weapons are incredibly useful, and all of the weapons are so fun to use. None of them really ever lose their potency, which is something that Going Commando failed at completely. But actually, Tools of Destruction, I admit, was sort of bad in that regard, and it wasn't until A Crack in Time that I believe all the weapons kind of got balanced, like they were in what was it called, Up Your Arsenal. But because in this game, in my opinion, in Up Your Arsenal, the combat's great because it's balanced. There's there's quite a lot of weapons that are completely different. New weapons, new actual abilities we haven't seen before in any of these weapons. Like the shock cannon actually had that death beam charge up. The infector what was it? Could make all their enemies attack each other. The spitting Hydra could actually go and fire on multiple different targets. The Rift Ripper basically was just a black hole that was absolutely wonderful. I just the actual what was it called? There's this game. In my opinion, the combat isn't as good as it is in Up Your Arsenal, as it is in Going Commando, as it is in most of the other ones. The combat's kind of lame in a lot of aspects. It's just not as balanced. There really isn't. There's only one weapon I can think of that was truly unique. I'm not going to, even if this game came out before Tools of Destruction, I'm not saying the Beam Mine Glove is unique, because there is a better version of that weapon in Tools of Destruction. But because it just didn't have the same exact. It just didn't have the same momentum that those games have with the combat. This one, just the lessened actual platforming, the simplified platforming in this game really doesn't do all that much for me. The gadgets, which were really just the actual swing shot, and the grind boots, which were, platforming gadgets that we've seen. Those are standards at this point. And basically it was just a square-o-matic, or whatever it's called. Now, granted, I do like that gadget, but it reminds me of Spyro, things that happened in Spyro the Dragon. Spyro 2, Spyro 3, but there really isn't much that helps this game. The actual, the platforming simple. The weapons are something we've seen before. There are some added effects to them that are pretty, fun to use. The big thing about them would be the actual upgrades you can go and buy for them are the unique ones I can think of. My favorite actual one is still the Acid Bomb Glove. How one of the upgrades you can actually go and get is will not just burn them, but will also keep them frozen, which is pretty nice. But this game just doesn't have something that's amazing. But see ya, everybody.